Napa Valley, wine tasting, spoiling my women friends, sitting at the table with millionaires. The narrative is tax loops, accounts offshore squares. It's not allowed.
We are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome back. Welcome back. Wherever you are on internet land, I welcome you, man. It's a great time to be alive, and you were at the right place at the right time. This is the number one home for personal development. This is ministry for the abstract mind. This is a safe space for everybody out there that has an out-the-box philosophy. When you come in, go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and share the video. Tell the algorithm what to do. You know, I appreciate you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. If the levels are good and you can see me and you can hear me, go ahead and press 1. Go ahead and press 2. Run me to 1 and run me to 2. If you can see me and you can hear me, go ahead and press 1 and go ahead and press 2. Over here, we follow strict philosophies over here. Top shelf or nothing. So if you can see me, press 1, and if you can hear me, press 2. All good. What's good with y'all? What's good with y'all? How y'all doing, man? You know what it is. We're gonna cook up something crazy today. You at the right place at the right time. Coin Gang Ministries, the number one home for personal development, a safe space for everybody out there that has an out-the-box philosophy. If you have babies, please do me and yourself a favor. Keep your babies close. Keep them close. Hold them tight and never let them go. Walk the path with your babies. And if you got someone in your life that you're loving on, if you got someone in your life that's important to you, if you got someone in your life that you care for, please be patient with them, because this life thing is not easy. So be patient with your loved ones. Be patient with the people that's checking for you. Every day they're not going to get it right, just like you're not going to get it right. You're going to trip and fall. Today we're going to talk about deconstructing glamour. Deconstructing glamour. We're going to talk about the flaw of the modern man. I'm sure you hear the terms modern man, modern woman. Well, there's a flaw in the modern man. And we're going to talk about that. What is the modern man's flaw? We're going to talk about using logic to mate. How to use logic to mate. And we're going to talk about hypergamous thinking. Our bill today. Our conversation today is don't mate with your eyes. Hypergamy for the modern man. It's a guy conversation, right? Women can listen, but the message is for men or people that profess themselves to be men. This is an important conversation because many guys ruin their life because of their eyes. Many guys ruin their life because they don't know how to mate. They mate with their eyes. I'm sure you hear, oh man, as a man, we just want you to be beautiful, right? Cool, I'm with that. But what does that have to do with having a child, though? What does a woman's beauty have to do with her being a mother? How do those two overlap? And you can make a decision based on pleasure that can really ruin your life, okay? So if you mate with a woman based on how she looks and you have a child with her, you are mating from the waist down instead of mating from the neck up. And what we want to do over here at Coin Gang, we want to encourage neck up decisions. So if you are mating with a woman from the waist down, you are mating in error because you are bringing a child in here based on your feelings for a person, right? But it's not from the intellect, okay? So where we're going to start is, I'm sure you heard, like I've been hearing, that men were visual, right? Men are visual. Men like women that look a certain type of way. We don't care about your money. We don't care about your degrees. A man doesn't care about your accomplishments. A man cares about what? Your femininity, you being fit, friendly, cooperative. I've heard this. I've also heard that this is the way that men have always been. That men have always chose women because of looks. That's the narrative. That's what I hear. That men, since time started, always chose women because of looks. Really? Really? Which men are we talking about? Are we talking about men from Paleolithic and Neolithic periods? Are we talking about hunter-gatherer society men? Which men are we talking about when we say men have always chosen women because how they look? But my question to you is, why would a man choose a woman based on looks when much of the world was a farming society? So why would a man pick a woman because how she looks when the dynamics of the world was different? Make that make sense. Do you remember a thing when we were in school called home ec? Home ec was home economics. That the home was an economic unit, and that the secret was to keep all the money in the home. And the way that you keep the money in the home is whoever's at the home has many different skill sets, meaning we don't go outside to get our clothes tailored. We don't go outside to visit a doctor because the whole person in the home knows how to handle those things, right? The bread stays in the crib because the person in the crib is an economy. They know how to do things. So men did not pick women because of how they looked, not men at the bottom anyway. And the world was ran by kings and princes and shoguns and dictators. They may have did what they wanted to do, but the majority of men have never been in a position to pick a woman based on looks. Men of old had to pick women based on skills. Men back in the day were picking women because of their looks, huh? Are you sure about that? How would you know when you're only 30? How would you know what men were doing in the 1800s? What dating book was produced? Whose dating journal did you read that's told you that men pick women back in the day based off how they look? Y'all say this is how men always were. But when you look at old pictures of people, how come aesthetically they're not nice looking? Because that wasn't the reason why people mated. You didn't pick glamour. Because if you did, you will starve to death. Please tell me these men back in the day that were mating off looks, who was really in a position to pick a woman because of her looks? You had to be a part of a monarchy for something. You had to be a part of a monarchy or a rich dynasty. You had to be a balling merchant to be able to do something like that. But the common man, which most men are common, no shade, right? You didn't pick women because of glamour. You didn't pick women because of how they look. So to hear men say, we don't care about degrees, since when? The moment the market opened up for a woman to get the degree, she went. And many girls' fathers have told them to go out and be successful. So you want the women to go against their fathers and their grandfathers? Most women raised by men in their family were told not to wait on a man. You want those women to go against the men in their family for talking points on YouTube? The moment the market opened up for women, they ran to it. Their fathers encouraged them. Their uncles and grandfathers encouraged them to attack the market. But now you say that men don't care about degrees and we care about femininity and we care about how you look. Really? When? When you talking? See, you're going to have to find me the upper class at that particular time. Now, if you're talking about what the upper class do, maybe, but you can't possibly be talking about the common man. Am I tripping? I notice a theme with these pictures. I see common people looking very common. See, don't confuse this world with how the world used to look. This world is all about flexing and smoke and mirrors. Please don't assume that the whole world in the ancient time, even 200 years ago, was like that. People mate from here, not from the waist down. But y'all tell me, men have always chose women because of how they look. Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you sure that men have always chose women because of how they looked? Are you sure? Because when we look at pictures from back in the day, aesthetically, the people that lived before us weren't what we would consider nice looking. That is because people didn't have babies based on that. But y'all tell me that men have been mating with women because of looks since time started. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, based on where they from at that specific time, this woman back then in their culture was probably considered bad. Hold on. Let's walk it through real quick. Okay. 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 Uh-huh. Uh-huh. She was probably considered fire. Common people looked very common back then. The interesting thing with modern times is common people have a way of looking uncommon. Common people can put money into their looks. People in the old world didn't put their resources into their looks. Do you know why? The world was much different back then. It was much harder. It was much of a grind. You couldn't put 2,000, 5,000 for body enhancements. Are you crazy? You had to put that to your house. Most people didn't even have 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. Never. You crazy? Huh. But y'all tell me that men have always went for looks. Y'all lying. Y'all are lying. I guarantee you this man picked this woman because of home ec abilities. The ability to sew, the ability to farm, the ability to create medicine. Okay? You didn't pick a woman because how she looked. You couldn't because it was about survival. Do you see this woman's face? Do you see any makeup on her face? What do you think she does every day? This gentleman looks like he's in the Union Army. So 9 times out of 10, he might not come back home. He may pass away in war. What do you think she's going to do? Remember, there's no welfare. There's no government assistance. So she has to have a skill to keep them alive, right? This woman is not running to a man if something happens to him. You know why? Because she has home ec. Now, if she does find another man, which most likely she will, if this gentleman passed away, he's going to pick her because of home ec abilities. This is why women with children did not have a problem finding a man back in the day. You know why? Because the woman had home ec abilities. They were not mating because of looks. We are in a looks culture where a person can have superhuman ability, but if we're not sexually attracted to them, we won't give them our attention. And that's backwards because sexual attraction is so fleeting. And it's something that we spend very little time doing. So why would we make those kind of life decisions based on something that we do so minor? If you add up all the times that we're having sex compared to working, compared to driving, compared to even mourning, compared to bathing, if you tally up that time, sex is the least thing that we do. But we make decisions based off who we're sexually attracted to. Men back in the day did not do that. They picked a woman for different things other than their face because the common man was thinking survival. And at these particular times, especially in America, when a woman became the man's wife, that was an actual job. I know we put a lot of glamour and, optics and production on the role, but historically, the wife was a job. It was a role based on home ec. That's why the man chose her. And if she was with a family that groomed her for marriage, she was taught skills, home ec skills. And they worked extremely hard, 12, 14-hour days. What are we talking about here? So the men encouraging each other to pick women based off image, that's new. That's not old at all. Look at her face. Did she get picked for how she looked? This man is in the army. He may not come back. How is she going to feed these children? She's not going to starve, I assure you that. And she's not going to run to no one else's land looking for help. I guarantee you she knows how to farm. I guarantee you if these babies cough, she can create something with herbs to cure that cough. Every single need in the house, I guarantee she knows how to do it. Do you know why? Because that's why he picked her. He did not pick her for her face. Right? These people were not mating based off how people looked. This is new stuff. This man didn't pick this woman because how she looked. A lot of y'all talk about back in the day love. But back in the day, love wasn't forged from sexual attraction. Back in the day, love was forged with a respect to each other's abilities. Because For survival, humans need ability. I know we're new agers and we like to talk about abundant thinking, so we don't want to use words like survive, and we want to use words to take us out of the real world. In the real world, you need abilities, physical abilities. Now, those that don't have physical abilities have mental abilities. But ability is ability. Play your hand. And people at this time were not making decisions with marriage and mating because of sexual attraction. Y'all are out of line. Y'all are making shit up because you want to pick a wife or a husband that gives you the sexual tingles. That don't last. That don't last. Now, I'm telling you this is what I believe. At this time, she's a 10. Out of all these pictures that I showed, right? This man, based on aesthetics, in my opinion, got the best look. Okay? So look at all this, right? We're told, we hear the talking points that men choose women because of how they look. And I've always said, which men are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Because if we look at some of these pictures, these people didn't have time to focus on there. First of all, people were having 6, 7, 8, sometimes 10 children in one home, in one bathroom. You could not sit in the bathroom for hours focused on glamour when you're in a house of 12 and it's one bathroom. Are you crazy? A lot of y'all grandmamas, great grannies had 10, 15 kids in one house with one bathroom. You could not focus on your looks. I guarantee she know home ec. I guarantee you all them know home ec. She know home ec. This woman here knows home ec. This is what the women were picked for. The world was different. Home ec. Home ec. And out of all that, she's the baddie. She's the baddie. For real, for real. At this particular time, at this particular time, this is early 19th century. Aesthetically, on a woman, this is as good as you're going to get. Probably a little better, probably, but not really. If you go to 1910, she's gorgeous, right? But in modern times, people would consider her, what they say? She would be average at best. Now think about that for a second. If she was alive now, they would consider her average at best. But in 1910, she's a 10. Now, he's a dude that lucked up because he happens to be sexually attracted to the woman, I'm sure, but she's into home ec. Very interesting. I suggest y'all check out the pictures of back in the day people. They weren't smiling in the pictures and they weren't focused on glamour. Now, the interesting thing when we talk about tradition, modern man, modern woman, the interesting thing that I hear from the men is about the old days, right? Women ain't doing this, women ain't doing that. I hear you, fellas. But the interesting thing when we study older men from back in the day, since we love to talk about history, they were very religious men. Now, if your narrative is men pick women because of their looks, My argument or my pushback to you is, I don't think men put the woman before the religion. So the men will pick a woman based on his religious beliefs. Men in America, at least, were not very secular, right? They were deeply Christian men, Catholic men, Protestant men, deeply. So when they pick a woman, it's going to be based on their faith. Now, what does their faith say? Every wise woman buildeth up her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Proverbs 14:1. This is what the men believe. Does it say every beautiful woman? Does it say every cute woman? Huh? Does it say every snatched woman? Huh? What does it say? It said every wise woman buildeth up her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Now, for them to say that men always picked women because of how they looked, that's false. The man at the bottom of the pyramid, which most men are, right? Deeply religious men back in the day. So their religion was a compass. So when they would go pick a woman, their religion was the tool that they used to gauge the woman to marry. They weren't picking women because how they looked. Okay? The men that are saying that today are below the waist men. They are confusing sexual or pleasurable moments with real life. Sex ain't real life. That's a moment in time that all creatures do. So to pick a life partner because of something that we do below the waist kind of tells you about the cultural thinking of the individuals. We talk about tradition. We talk about men of old, but we don't talk about the characteristics, flawed or not, of the men that of old. They didn't pick women based on looks. They picked women based on their religion. What does their religion say? Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh down with her hands. Did it say every cute woman? No. Did it say every woman with weave? No. Did it say every woman with bundles? No. Every wise woman. Oh, okay. So the men 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, the men that y'all are claiming pick women because of their looks. These deeply religious men were reading things like this. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. Hold on. Hold on. See, I does this shit. My name is Body Bag Ken, right? And I'm a great listener. And I'm like, We were taught to study to show thyself approved. You don't come to this thing with talking points. Y'all say that men always pick women because of their looks. What men are you talking about? Women were picked because of domestic ability. They were not picked because how they looked, because nobody looked nice. We live in a glamour culture, right? Where people are focused on optics. But hold on, because I'm talking about your great-grandfather. I'm talking about your grandfather. Pick women because of looks? Really? These deeply religious men? She opened up her mouth. What came out, though? What does it say that came out of her mouth? Now, this is the religion that your ancestors were following in America, right? When you're looking at Black Wall Street, you know they were Christian, right? I'm just saying. And this is the book that the men were reading. So the women that they were picking were based on their faith. What does Proverbs 31:26 say? She opened up her mouth with wisdom. In her tongue is the law of what? Kindness. What came out of her mouth when she opened it? Bundles? What came out of her mouth? BBL? What came out of her mouth? Makeup? No, wisdom. Men were not picking women because of glamour. He had to survive. Wait a minute. Y'all told me y'all are encouraging, right, the men to pick women based off below the waist thinking. Oh, she looks good, therefore she will make a good mother. Really? Huh. So I wanted to see what was the thinking of these, quote, traditional men. And traditional men are religious. Traditional men are patriotic. Traditional men believe in small government. Traditional men, many of them built the house that the woman lived in. But you call the woman modern. But you went to school with her and you use the same devices as her and you're born in the same year as her. How is she modern? And how are you traditional? For you to be traditional in your relationships, the environment would have to also represent the relationship. These people had traditional relationships because of the jobs that they had to do in that particular time. There was no government assistance. Things ran top down, where the church governed people's lives. Parents and tradition and literature governed people's lives. There was no TV. People did things like arithmetic. They didn't do math. Early Americans spoke Latin, right? Before the TV, people listened to sports on the radio. That traditional man that you're talking about would work inside of a cave and a mine. And there was no benefits at that time. And they died early deaths. But he was patriotic and he was religious. He didn't give a damn about Egypt. Traditional men in America are pro-America. How are y'all talking about traditional American relationships and you don't even like America? You go against America. But the traditional man of all ethnicities in America was pro-America. Interesting, right? Y'all want performative relationships, right? But for you to want the traditional relationship and the woman be traditional, you will also have to go back to what made the men traditional. And one of them is the Bible. Whether you are secular or not, many of your grandfathers is not secular. He don't know about no damn Kemet. He don't know about no Hebrew Israelite. I'm talking about people with grandfathers that are gone, that would be 100-something years old. He ain't know about that. He ain't know about that. To be the traditional man in a relationship in America, you have to be first pro-America. You have to be a religious man, not a secular man. You have to build a house for the woman that they live, right? And you pick the woman based on your faith. Now, what does the Bible say? A gracious woman retaineth her honor, and strong men retain women. What kind of woman retaineth her honor? A woman based on her image? No. Y'all do y'all, let me tell y'all something. Do y'all seen the pictures that I showed earlier? Do y'all know that we just started looking cute? Wait, hold on. Look at these pictures. Y'all talking about men mated with women because how they looked. Are you sure? What kind of people had the ability to spend money on their looks? You sure? No. Let me tell y'all something. See, these talking points are very cultural. And I gotta say it. And I gotta single individuals out because it's your thinking that is the most backwards thinking in the planet. What is it? What are y'all calling yourself this? FBA? All right. Y'all focus on image is going to be the death of you. All of this investment in the look of a thing, but not in the functionality of a thing. The investment on hair and clothes and to smell good, right? And then everybody shows up in glamour. And then the two people have a child together. And then everybody's wondering why the households are dysfunctional because the two people involved showed up in glamour. They didn't show up in ability. People from the past made it because of ability. You make from the neck up. If you happen to be attracted to the person, great. You're one of the lucky ones. But damn it, don't you ever put sex over the person's ability. Are you crazy? Shit, you can make a 5 look alive. Give me a 6, I'm going to win. A 7, shoot, I'm going to heaven. A 8, I'm going to be great. Shit. All this, who's a 5, who's a 6? No. Who has ability? Do you see automation taking jobs from people? What do you think is the coming technology, right? The technology that's coming is going to crack the back of the American labor force because we're not prepared for the future, because we're not mating based on people that even know how to use the internet. The person that you have a baby with right now, do they know how to use the internet? Do they know what SEO is? Do they know what search engine optimization is? Do they have a domain name in their government name? Huh? Games. This is games. Now, there are some women that are beautiful and geniuses, accomplished. But y'all said y'all don't want women with degrees. And y'all said y'all don't want women because of their status. And y'all said y'all don't give a damn about a woman's money. I don't think this man agrees with you. Do you know if this woman had a degree, how that would change this family? You see all them kids? You telling me right now, this man from the past, if his wife had a degree at this time, you don't think that would have changed this family? What are y'all talking about? You don't think this man want these women in the air to have a degree? Huh? Do you know what a degree, the trajectory that it would change for these people? Do you know how hungry people in the past were? There was no such thing as Monsanto. There was no food banks. Let me tell y'all something. When a father in the past was basically auctioning off his daughter to a man, he was running down her skills. One of the skills that the father would run down is that his daughter has an ability to farm. If a man at this time picked a woman because of her looks and she doesn't know how to farm, right? Do you know they starved to death? I'm 38. Many of y'all don't remember something called home ec. That was a real thing. Home economics. The men picked the woman based on her ability in home ec. Because the man is thinking survival. That's what a wife was at that time. Hell, still is. Right? Let's be clear. I've read it many times on what the purpose of marriage was. Right? Help this man. Help this man stay alive. Stay alive through children. Also stay alive by practicing home ec. Many of these men fought in wars. Who was his doctor? The wife. The wife was the doctor. There was no anesthesia at that time. Right? She had to know what she was doing or that leg is going to come off. So that wife went to the back, came back with leaves. Come on, man. See, y'all want to live in a production. Y'all have a need not to struggle so bad, right? And a need for romanticism for the world to ease the harsh realities of the world. So y'all make up stories. The woman went to the back and got something to put on the leg. Yo, these are real pictures. Do you know how many skills this woman probably has? Seriously. Now, fast forward to now. The men don't want women with certs. You don't want women with degrees. You don't want women with money. You don't want women that travel. How many skills do you think she has? And the skills that she has, they didn't give out certificates. She probably didn't get a thank you, fam. There ain't no... Oh, man. Y'all got to hear yourself talk. Yeah, we don't care about your degrees. What do you think she has a degree in? If they gave her a degree, what you think it would be in? Farming, sewing, cooking, ironing, right? Health, childbirth. Many of these women are also doulas. Come on. Did you hear me? Many of these women not only doing their house, they were doulas. So after working 12, 14 hours in their crib, see, it ain't just cooking and cleaning. That property, they're growing things too. You got to tend to that. That leak in the roof, the husband is gone. She does that. Do you know many of these women are shotgun toting women? Y'all have this weird view of femininity. Huh. These women rode horses. There is a shotgun in this house. You don't think she's busting off? But y'all don't want women with skills. You know why? You know why? And it's going to be the death of you because you want to be needed. But here's the thing. All you got to do is show up with ability. Everybody wants people that have ability around. Everybody wants that. If you got the ability to make people money, people don't want you around. If you got the ability to fix, if you have the ability to hunt, if you have the ability to minister, ability is ability. Show up with the ability. You got that thing in your head about being needed. Ability is needed. That's what's needed. We've come into a place where people just want to be accepted as a human and being alive. The world ain't never been like that. People don't want to put nothing on the table, but they want to be received, their humanity. Man, pick me for me. What does that even mean? Where can you go and say that in the world? Accept me for me. Pick me for me. Nah, the world cares about your ability. You can't go to Silicon Valley and say, hey, man, accept me for me. What? What do you do? What do you do? Now, the doing range is gonna be on a big spectrum, but what do you do? You got to show up and put your ability on the table. If you are the email man, God damn it, send the emails. If you the social media man, do the social media. You want something else that's deep-seated, that goes past ability. You feel like you don't got control. So you want to be needed so you can have control over a space. But if you got control over the ability, you in the game. You in the game. You're making a huge mistake. I'm telling you right now. A lot of you dudes, the women are talking. Oh, you don't care about the degree? Cool. At first, it might seem like baby tears, right? They're listening. Y'all are talking and they are listening. And I predict the hugest L's are coming down the pipeline for a lot of you. A lot of you done talked yourself out the game. Right? Oh, you don't care about what the world cares about? Abilities? Degrees? We live in Western society. Whether you like it or not, money matters, status matters, degrees matter, connections matter, power matters. Y'all think feelings matter. Y'all say things like, we're the most desired. If you're the most desired, you should have the most money because your desire, you got something to leverage. So you're the most sought after for a thing, right? This is what you say. You know who I'm talking to. You know y'all talk like that. This is what you say. You're the most desired, right? Cool. How much it costs? See, because if you are the most desired for something, then that means you are a high ticket item, right? Because that's how things work in the world. When something is the most desired, there's a big price tag associated with it. So if you are the most desired, sir, you should make bread off that, right? Because y'all leverage that, right? You say you're the most desired. And your counterpart is the least desired. Cool. So you should have the most shit. If you're going to be traditional man and you desire a traditional woman, this is what y'all say, then you have to mate how the traditional man made it. And the traditional man made it using his Bible, regardless of what you think of the Bible. This is what traditional man thought. Uh-oh. 1 Timothy. That women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Hold on. Y'all don't really like women that wear that. Hold on. Let's keep it a stack. Y'all don't want women dressing like this. Hold on. And it's crazy because the majority of these men are Christian, yet all of your behavior is opposite of your book. You're willing to go against your own belief system for pop culture. No one never calls y'all on that shit. You're willing to go against pop culture, what the bros got to say, what the manosphere got to say, what forums got to say. You're willing to go against your own holy book for pop culture. What does your book say? Women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or golds or pearls or costly array. Y'all have convinced the women femininity is all this glamour. Why the hell are they doing it? Right? But all that glamour goes against your religion. What does 1 Timothy say? Women adorn themselves in what kind of apparel? Modest apparel. I mean, you mean stuff like this? Stuff like this? Stuff like this? Stuff like this? Stuff like this. Oh, but y'all don't want these kind of women though. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Huh. You don't want women like this. This is very telling, right? Because y'all talk so much about family. Y'all talk so much about the community, right? I'm calling you on it because it's cap. Sex worker industry wouldn't be a $14 billion a year industry if y'all didn't like 304s. Yeah, but we don't marry them though. Y'all don't marry these neither. What we talking about, 5? Y'all don't marry these neither. Hold on, what does your book say? Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. This is not what I hear y'all saying. Y'all wanting women. This is not what y'all saying. When y'all doing y'all passport bros and y'all Christian men, are you going over there for missionary work, sir? You are a Christian man. You are wearing a cross. You say in Jesus' name when you pray, but you a passport bro and you don't take your Christianity out the country with you. Huh? You don't take your Christianity out the country with you. But what does your book say? What's your book say? Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. I don't hear the men talking about, man, I'm looking for a woman that fears the Lord. This is not what you're picking your women off of. Cap. Men in the old times did not pick women because of looks. A religious man 100 years ago picked a woman that aligned with his faith. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing, no, right? But everybody's a Christian, right? Everybody's a Christian. When you are mating, You have to understand you are going to bring another human into the world. All right? When you bring another human into the world, you do not do that based off sexual attraction. That is lower level mating. You are basically creating a bloodline that is going to be pegged to the system. Those offspring that you create do not stand a chance competing against the children of men and women that created babies with an intention and made it based on ability. A man looks at a woman's ability, be like, he knows he has an ability, and they come together and they produce a child that has both of their skill sets. Your child not going to stand a chance. You better hope they grow to 6'9" and they could play basketball. But even then, the people that made it with ability, that child is going to be the GM of the team that your 6'9" son plays for, or the owner of the team, or the agent of that player, right? Controlling their money. They might can't shoot basketballs, but they're going to control your 6'9" son's finances. What game we talking about here? Do you know why we talk about the old school and Langston Hughes and Malcolm X and all these great people? Because their parents did not mate because of sex. Listen to how these people talk about their parents. Listen to how your grandmother talks about her parents. Disciplined people, firm people, right? Strict household. Everything run a certain type of way. You don't tell your younger brothers or your nephews to pick a woman because of how she looks. You are setting that man up for complete failure because value is intrinsic. It's not on the outside of a thing. It's on the inside of a thing. What does Bible say? What does the traditional man's Bible say? Every wise woman buildeth her house. What kind of woman does it say? Buildeth her house. Now I'm talking to those that subscribe to Christian theology or even Muslim, right? What kind of woman does it say? A wise woman. What kind of woman was a man of the past looking for? A wise woman. You know why? Because his book is talking about a wise woman. The traditional man is a religious man. Y'all believe in Kemet. Y'all have denounced the Bible. Therefore, you can't be a traditional American man. Sorry. Y'all over in Egypt somewhere. Y'all in another country studying that. But the traditional American man is a Christian man. Y'all have named yourself Amin Ra. Right? Y'all have named yourself I'm playing, but I'm for real. Himotep. You know what I'm saying? You put hallelujah down so you can say Hotep and Ashe. That ain't what your granny and your grandfather were, and they have more shit than you. So you can try to talk about their Christianity all you want, but it produced more results. So what are we talking about? It's about results. Did I say their relationship is perfect? No, of course not. I'm talking about results, though. The emotional component and all that, that's a different conversation. Right? This is very interesting, right? Because what if the men went by their book? She opened her mouth. What'd she do? What'd she do? She opened her mouth. What'd she do? What'd she open? She opened her mouth. And what came out? Wisdom. Wisdom came out. Wisdom came out of her mouth. That's an important thing. When she opened her mouth, wisdom came. That's what the men were looking for. Wisdom. A gracious woman retaineth honor. This is what the Bible says. This is what many people believe. A gracious woman retaineth honor. That's what the men were looking for. A gracious woman. 1 Timothy. Women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Sobriety, right? No gold or pearls or costly array. Y'all don't want no smoke. Look, men were not choosing women because of looks. The men were Bible-based, okay? Because to be a wife back then was about being a good worker, right? Ain't y'all talking about the soft life now? Traditionally, the role of a wife wasn't soft. Okay. Traditionally, the role of a wife was not anything soft. A wife was a worker. Okay. That's what she was picked for. Because y'all think other groups of people were just resting in their femininity. You think other groups of people weren't doing anything or aren't doing anything. You know what I'm saying? You think other groups of people were just sitting around. Nah. People were working. People were grinding. People were getting it in, as you can see here. Right? To be a wife back then meant to be a worker. To be a wife back then meant to have a lot of skills. To be a wife back then really, 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 really meant something. They weren't resting in their femininity. These were very rough women because the lifestyle was very rough. These was rough women because how they had to live and operate was very rough. There was no resting. None of that. There was no resting. None of that. It's working going on because that's what the man needed to survive. Without the wife, the man wouldn't have survived. This going on now. Where do y'all think women are doing in the world? Y'all have a misconception of what women are actually doing in the real world. This is real world shit right here. Men picked women because of home ec. You see that? This is why men pick women, because of home ec. Skills in the house that can allow the money to stay in the home and not go outside the home. It's important for men to look into a space of home ec so men can understand glamour. Men don't understand glamour, and that's a problem. Glamour has a lot of men making huge mistakes. What is glamour? Glamour, a magic spell, an exciting and often illusory and romantic attractiveness. Hold on. An exciting and often illusory and romantic attractiveness. So it's not even real. You mean to tell me these babies are being brought into the world off false premises? Glamour is not real. So you can't pick a woman based off how she looks, sir. You can't pick a woman because how her body is. You pick a healthy woman. But sexual attraction can't be at the top of your list, man. You're going to catch an L. Glamour, a magic spell. This is glamour. This is not how she really looks. But besides that, you don't know how the woman functions. You don't know how the woman operates. You don't know how the woman thinks because you deal with glamour. You're dealing with her face and not her functionality, not her mindset, not nothing intrinsic. So it's interesting that the individuals that say they are logical, how come men don't use logic when it comes to picking a woman? How come men become emotional? So it's very interesting. Logic all day long. But when your woman you're attracted to comes around, logic goes out the window, up comes emotions. But why not take logic and use it to pick your woman? Logic is the science of how to evaluate arguments and reasoning. Critical thinking is a process of evaluation which uses logic to separate truth from falsehood, reasonable from unreasonable beliefs. And if you want to better evaluate the various claims, ideals, and arguments you encounter, you need a better understanding of basic logic and the process of critical thinking. Now, why wouldn't a man use logic to pick his woman? If logic is a tool that we can use to evaluate truth from falsehood, evaluate arguments, claims, and ideals, then why wouldn't the man who says he's naturally logical use logic to evaluate the woman? But you don't use logic to evaluate the woman. You use your eyes. You are evaluating the value of the woman based on how she looks. But value is not on the outside of a thing. Value is on the inside of a thing. Everything that's valuable on this planet, we have to go through some type of shell to get to the value. You have to cut the watermelon open. You have to peel the orange. You have to peel the banana. You have to cut the mango. You have to dig for the gold. All things that have value. You have to penetrate a layer to get through to it. It's not just available to anybody. It's the same way with a woman. The woman's value is not on the outside of her. How does a woman hit the wall when she increases in value as she ages? Her value is not on the outside of the thing, of her. It can't be, because this appreciates. I don't look the same as I did 20 years ago. Life is happening and I accept it. But how can you say the woman hits the wall, but the man dies hella early? How could the woman hit the wall when the man gets around 45, 50 and how could the woman hit the wall? Why y'all so mean and cruel? Why y'all put so much value in something that none of us can hold on to? You think people don't want to try to keep their image for as long as possible? And if you make that so much pressure, do you know what people will do to try to maintain it? They will lose themselves. They will lose themselves trying to maintain something that's not real in the first place. Have you ever seen a dead body? Huh? It doesn't move. So much for looks, right? So much for looks. You see what cancer does to someone's looks? You see what diabetes does to someone's looks? Do you see what stress or depression does to someone's looks? So much for looks, huh? And we put so much pressure into something that's not even, it ain't even real. It's not even real. When are we going to learn to look at a woman aging as beauty? To watch your partners, the process, right? You come to a real understanding when you can watch the women that you're very close to age. Because, yeah, men and women do age a little differently, right? But when you watch a woman age and you can still love the woman and you don't make the woman feel insecure when younger women when younger women are around. You know what kind of dude you got to be? And I'm going to tell you right now, watching women age in front of you, right? Watching them change. It's a beautiful thing because whatever they lose here, uh, one second. Whatever they lose physically, when they open their mouth, wisdom comes out. Whatever she loses physically, when she opens her mouth, wisdom comes out. Are y'all picking y'all wives or the women you having children with for a greater a greater understanding of her later? Are you picking the women in your life because you want to experience what it's like as she ages and the beauty begins to come out of her mouth now, instead of it just being on her face? She begins to say things as if it was she was doing her makeup on her face. It begins to display in how she talks. Do you know what kind of blessing that would be to your life? The flaw of the modern man is not focused on his own legend. The flaw of the modern man is the modern man generalizes himself too much and he puts himself with other men, what men are doing, what men aren't doing, right? Instead of focusing on his own legend and what works for him, the modern man is a part of a bunch of generalizations that don't mean absolutely nothing. Huh. That is the flaw of the modern man. The modern man is not focused on his own legend. The modern man is not focused on his own thing. This is why the modern man says 1 in 4 men and men this and men that. What about your own legend, son? What about you picking a woman for your own legend, not for what the bros think? Your legend. And your legend for it to move and for it to survive, right? Your legend has to be from the neck up. Now, I want to encourage the men to change their thinking. And I want to encourage the men to do hypergamous thinking. Now, what is hypergamy? Hypergamy, colloquial, forgive me, it's just certain certain little words, just but I'm gonna embarrass myself. All right, I know this word colloquial, but it's very difficult for me to say. Hypergamy, colloquially, can't roll that tongue. I'm cold at rolling my tongue and other things. Now I'm hypergamy, colloquially referred to as marrying up, okay, is a term used in social science for the act or practice of a person marrying a spouse of higher caste or social status than them. And it says usually practiced by women. But I want to encourage the men to mate hypergamously. But it's a little different than how a woman would do it, right? So I have a list on how I think men should mate hypergamously. Number 10, find the most disciplined woman. See, this is hypergamy thinking for me. If I'm a man, I'm a man. As a man, this is hypergamous thinking for me, right? Finding the most disciplined woman, right? Finding a woman that has the ability to focus for long periods of time on things that matter. Finding a woman that says, when I'm done with something, I'm done with something. When I move on with something, I'm on with something. When she's on something, she's on it and she's focused and she has blinders. right? How can you ever fall off if your woman is disciplined? See, if you have a disciplined woman, then you'll have a woman that holds you accountable to the things that you say. And that's important. A lot of dudes duck that smoke. You don't want no smoke. Number 9, find a woman that's a great listener. Sometimes men talk, we have ideals. Sometimes we throw things out there. See, a great listener may remind you the other day, hey, babe, you said, remember that guy you said you was going to call about this opportunity, blah, blah. You like, oh, yeah. You didn't know she was listening. But not just that. Sometimes you need to give instructions to things, and you need a person to be all ears, especially if you're not going to be there. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Do exactly what I'm saying, the way that I'm telling you to do it. Boom. Good listener. A good listener is not waiting to talk, right? I'm going to tell you something else about a good listener. A good listener has the ability to see what they hear, okay? And when they see in color. A good listener sees in color. They hear what you're saying and they can see it in color. You don't want to be with anybody that can't see in color. You don't want to be with somebody that sees in black and white. You need people that see in color. Okay? Number 8, find a woman that's a healer. It's interesting. I don't think a lot of men are thinking about their life or thinking about longevity, because on your list, what you're looking for in a woman, it's never a healer. You don't put Reiki on the list, right? You don't even put a woman that is a nutritionist on the list, right? You like women that know how to cook, but you don't like women that cook things that heal. There's a difference. There's women that cook for taste, nothing wrong with that. And then there's women that cook for healing. And then there's a woman that makes food that heals taste very well. It's levels, right? It's levels. You're not interested in that. You're not interested in a woman that knows how to touch your body outside of sex, that know where you're hurting. You're not interested in a woman that can look in your eyes and know what you're lacking. She can look at your skin and know exactly what you need. You're not looking for that because you think your healing will come through your sexual desires, and it won't. It can, but that's another story. That's another life, right? You can't even get to that part because you got to learn to be somebody's friend in that space, first of all, before you can even get to healing sex. We ain't even there yet. We on the ground floor, right? But you want to find a woman that's a healer, right? And the woman could also heal with her language, right? When y'all talk about cooperative woman, y'all talking about a yes woman, right? A woman can heal through language by having an expectation out of you, right? If she told you, when I'm with you, because I see greatness in you. And I expect you to be great. And no other man is great as you. So go be great. She's on your ass. She expects something. She expects that you're great. She's not going to tell you you're great when you're underachieving. She's going to expect more. And she's going to know where to place those words. But y'all don't want that. You want cooperation. Number 7. Find a woman that has a scalable skill. Super important. Find a woman that has a scalable skill. A skill that can be scaled. I suggest moving forward that you men really become interested in women that know how to sell things. Salesmanship is scalable. Find you a woman that has a scalable skill. And the scalable skill that I'm going to say, there's many, but I'm going to say, find you a woman that has the ability to sell things. As long as you know how to sell something, you will never starve. Find you a woman that knows her way around products, that has customer service ability, that has an influential personality that can move goods. That's scalable. Y'all like women that are consumers. You want to buy a woman a bag, $30,000 Birkin, $40,000 Birkin. You don't put the $40,000 in her hand so she can turn it into $80,000. What are we talking about here? Moving forward in the digital world, you're going to have a woman that know how to hustle, that know how to do business. You have to have a woman that knows her way around business. Even if you just want her to be a stay-at-home wife, you got to have an area that's an office for business. Preferably your business. Right? Get you this is some real game right here. Get you a woman that knows how to market and sell her man to the world. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Have you heard of my man's music? Have you heard of my man's chiropractor company? Of course, you wouldn't say that, my man. Hey, have you heard of John Robinson? Have you heard of John Robinson? Oh my God, he's the best chiropractor. Now, if you are a man and you are focused on a woman's looks, right? If you're a man and you are focused on a woman's looks, you should be focused on the looks in a way that benefits both of you. Meaning, since men are hollering at her, she tells them that you have a business. Hey, how you doing, miss? Right? And she curves it. No, I'm fine. Thank you. Right? Oh, by the way, have you heard of this such and such food truck? They got the great food. She giving you customers. Right? Now, there's a trick with that. Some people could do it, some people right? If you got a girl that campaigns for your business, y'all got a business company, whatever, sometimes her saying that she got a husband kind of fucks up the traffic. Sometimes, right? Sometimes she need to pull that card, and then sometimes it can mess up the traffic, especially if a dude is trying to holler. Oh no, I got a husband. No, and he like, all right, whatever. But if she like, no, I'm not interested, right? She never says her status, but she gives the dude a flyer, right? But she tells him, hey, check out such and such. See, sometimes when y'all have business going, it's better for the optics of the world for y'all not to put your relationship out there unless your relationship is a husband and wife business, right? Or don't put it out there and unless you have a husband and wife business, don't put your relationship out there. All right? So find a woman that has a scalable skill. Number 6, find a woman that can work a crowd. See, I'm different. A lot of men want these women at home, and I'm not that kind of guy. I'd rather eat out the house, and I like a woman that when we're in an environment, she knows how to work the crowd. She knows how to work the crowd, right? See, I like shit like that. I like a person that knows how to mingle with the people. I don't I don't get off on a woman, oh, I just go home and go to work. A lot of guys like that. I don't like that. I like a woman that we in a spot, we move around. See, I like a woman that be like, you ever heard about Ken Billions? Oh, you ever you hey, follow Ken Billions YouTube page. See, I like shit like that because I'm mashing for my rations and I'm outside, I'm campaigning. I'm trying to get one person a day that know me, one new person. So if I got somebody with me, I definitely want them to say, you know, Ken, because guess what? If they got something, I'm gonna be like, hey, you heard about my people's thing? Hey, boom, boom, boom. See, I'll pass out your flyer, right? What is we going out for? So if we out and we do something, I like a person that be like, hey, you know my folks? So find you a woman that knows how to work a crowd. This is hypergamous thinking to me. I don't need to sit in the house, man. This is not Little House on the Prairie. I'm trying to get outside and get it in, move around. I'm trying to make connections. I'm trying to have some things. I want my son living a certain life when he's 20 something years old. So I got to get out and I got to shake hands, kiss babies, right? On the cheek, no airy, right? And Tiff. Let me throw Tiff in there too. So I'm not simping. Uh woo, number 5. See, this is hypergamous thinking for me, for a man. Find you a woman. Find you a woman that prays for you. Right? Find you a woman that prays for you. You know, a woman, you know, when you're thinking, man, you know, I mean, when she's meditating and she's thinking, she's praying for you. You know what I mean? And she's praying for you specifically, right? She ain't praying that you love her more. She ain't praying that you be better for her. She's praying for you, that you have everything you need, right? That you got confidence, that you're not afraid. She's praying for your health, right? She's praying for you. Find you a woman that prays for you. For you. Has nothing to do with her. She prays for you. Find that. That's number 5. This is hypergamous thinking to me for a dude. Number 4. Find a woman that loves to win. Competitive. I like a competitive woman, right? I like a woman that likes to win things, that likes to compete, because I like to compete. In fact, I'm a big shit talker. So if I'm in a relationship with a woman, I'm challenging her in things. And if I beat her, I'm talking shit forever. And I like to see the thing in the woman's face and she's upset. Let's play again. I like that. Let's play again. Let's play again. I like a woman that goes and competes with people. I like that. Because what are we doing? Because who told you that femininity was... Femininity is all things. It ain't just one thing. It ain't just... right? It's competition too. You can't say that FloJo wasn't feminine. Women being competitive can be feminine. It's not just this demoralized thing. So 4 for me. And I suggest 4 for you. That you find a woman that loves to win. Right? Loves to win. Number 3. Find a woman that creates culture. This is an important one because so many women's religion is pop culture. So the women that go against that are outside of pop culture, they are women that are doing their own thing. They are women that are creating culture, right? They are creating a bubble that they live in. And that's what kind of woman you want. You want the woman that goes against pop culture, right? You want the woman that's like, nah, I do my own thing, right? You want the woman that goes her own direction, that has healthy friendships with females, yet goes her own way, right? You don't want the woman that says, I don't got no female friends. You want the woman that have a community of women, but she still has individuality and she creates culture, right? She's nobody's yes woman. She does her own thing. So find you a woman that creates culture, because when y'all get together, she's going to begin to create culture in your relationship. So when people are coming into your home, that's what they feel. They feel culture. When people look at your children, what they feel is culture, right? Culture. Even in your look as a man, women know when you walking around like, he got a girl, right? You might not know. Women know. One indicator is, how does your skin look? Oftentimes, women could tell a guy doesn't have a woman or no woman like her if you got bumps all over your face. Now, yeah, we all get a pimple here and there. I'm talking about real skin issues, though. How do you keep your car? Women know, right? Because in the relationship, the woman that you pick based on this list, hypergamous thinking, she begins to create culture on you without you even knowing it, though. Just little things here and there, right? If she got finesse, she'll know how to move away without coming off like she's trying to change the man, right? Number two, find the smartest woman you can find, not the prettiest woman. Find the smartest woman. Very important. Very important for you to find the smartest woman, right? See, the smartest woman, mm, I could go on for days about that. The reason why you find the smartest woman is because the smartest woman you find, she's going to be a seeker of knowledge and constantly in student mode, right? Knows how to course correct, okay? Um, knows how to uh, analyze her emotions. When she feels something, she can isolate the feeling and ask herself, why does she feel that way? Right? She can think through her emotions. She works on personal development and being a better woman for herself first, then for the people around her. So you want to find a woman that takes personal development real serious, being a better woman, period. Then the tears come, right? So look out for that. And number one in my hypergamous thinking for a dude, number one, find you a woman that's dangerous. I like violent women. Let me tell you what I mean by that. I don't like women that lead with violence, right? But I like women that are, when you press the wrong button, they're very violent. And the reason why they're very violent is because they're very sweet. So I'm not talking about a woman that's walking around disagreeable. I'm talking about an extremist. When you press that button for her loved ones, she is going to destroy everything. And the reason why is because how she carries herself on a day-to-day basis. She ain't on that. She doesn't disrespect people. She doesn't have a nasty attitude. However, she's a very dangerous woman. I like a very dangerous woman, right? And the reason why is because women be with their children, right? So a woman with her children, when she's out and about, she has to be dangerous, right? She has to be able to go 0 to 100, especially in front of her children. That's that's important. A lot of y'all don't think so, but that's important that her children, if disrespected, if violated outside, that those children see their mother go boop 0 to 100, so they know, right? What that's going to create is it's going to make the babies feel safe, and it's going to have advocacy that those children know that no matter what, my mother is going to come through, right? You have to find a dangerous woman that is going to bang out for that family name, right? Very, 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 very important. That's my list, right? So now you can, now you can stop with these crazy mating requirements of looks and, right? If you want to improve your bloodline, if you want to have a placement in the future, and you have to mate differently, you have to move differently, right? And a lot of you men, you think getting with a nice looking woman is going to heal whatever brokenness you have. And from a dude that's been broken and hooked up with nice looking women, it don't fill that void, right? You just want a better looking woman and a better looking woman and a better looking woman, right? And now what you're doing too, though, is you're taking each one of those are people, and you're sticking them in that hole that you have, and they can't fill it up. And then you're breaking them in the process. Don't move like that. Move like an elite man, a legendary man, the tallest tree in the forest, a guy that moves differently, than his peer group. Okay? So don't mate with your eyes. This is hypergamy for the modern man. Y'all enjoyed yourself? It definitely was a pleasure. I appreciate y'all. Right? So, share the video, rewind the video. Watch it with your men in your life, right? Because if we're not making upgrades, then for real, what are we even doing?
The reason why you down, cause somebody stole something from you. They stole your creativity. They stole your innocence. They stole your ability to dream. Well, I came to help you dream again. I came to help you get them dreams back. So you can start using your mind, changing your reality based on your thoughts. The struggle is in your mind, bro. The struggle is in your mind, girl. You can't be a victim in this life. You gotta go get yours. The universe is abundant. Everything on this planet is made to serve you. They got you distracted, thinking everything you need is outside of yourself. But that's the trick right there. I came to wake you up. I came to remind you. I came to tell you that the God that you're looking for is in the mirror. All you gotta do is all you gotta do is have audacity. I want you to dream. I want you to think outside the box. I want you to know there ain't no ceiling. The things that you believe changes your genetic code. You are your thoughts. You picked this life before you came here. So now it's about you turning that tragedy into triumph. The struggle is real, baby. It's all in your mind. All you gotta do is wake up.